Our Commitment 2018 coverage continues. WGAL News 8 is hearing from candidates running for state house seats in the Susquehanna Valley. We're talking with the candidates today for the 105th District. The district covers Lower Paxton Township, South Hanover Township, and West Hanover Township in Dauphin County. Eric Epstein is the Democratic candidate, a longtime political activist. Welcome. And Andrew Lewis is the Republican candidate, and he is the head of a construction company in Dauphin County. Welcome to you both. We appreciate it. Of course, longtime Republican Ed Marsico is retiring, so you two have won the primary and are seeking the seat. Just briefly tell me, why do you want to be a state representative? Why do you think you're the man for the job?
So I believe Pennsylvania, we're squandering our potential as a state, Susan. Pennsylvania, believe it or not, we're one of the top 5 most corrupt states in the country, but we rank 48th in job growth, and I think we can reverse that. Pennsylvania should be one of the top 5 leading economies in the nation for jobs, opportunities, for families to move into. I mean, every 12 and a half minutes, someone else moves out of Pennsylvania. We're the 6th most...
Well, why do you think you can do that job the best?
And so I believe, as someone who served in the military effectively, from Iraq to Korea to the White House Military Office, as someone who's running a construction business in the region, creating jobs in the district, we are results driven. We're results driven. I've seen the challenges and the struggles faced by the business community, and I believe that I will effectively carry the voice of the people and be a successful advocate for the issues in the 105th. And we have traffic issues,
all right. Well, we'll get to some of those, but let's give Eric a chance to tell us. You've been a long-time political activist. Why do you want this job?
Well, I'm a unique candidate. I've achieved a lot from the outside of the Dome. I'm one of the few people that has a reform record and would like to enter the Dome to further not my career, but to build on what I've done in the past. And in the past, you look at what we did with the pay raise. We cobbled together 10 groups from a liberal and conservative coalition, and we repealed the pay raise. Rock the Capital, the group I founded, has aggressively gone after corruption at FIA and at the LCB, and we've been at the head of trying to reduce the legislative slush funds. When we first began, it was $240 million. It's now down to $140 million. But I think there's 3 pieces of legislation that everybody's looking for right now. No budget, no pay. You don't get the budget done, you shouldn't get paid. I think people can sit and stand by that. I think the other 2 issues is...
This year it got done, I guess.
Yeah, well, this year it got done, but it shouldn't be an exception. It should be the rule. That's our job, to get the budget done. If there's no budget, you shouldn't get paid. And I think the other thing people are looking at is we need fair and competitive districts. You know, Andrew and I are running a very competitive race, but that should be the norm, not the unique outlier. And unfortunately, we have 253 seats if you include the House and the Senate. Only 30 are really competitive. That has to end. So we have to have more access for competitive elections, no budget, no pay. And, you know, I want to be inside the Dome now and just build on the career I've established outside the Dome.
All right, I like inside the Dome. What about that quickly? No budget, no pay? Do you agree?
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And not only that, I've introduced the idea of saying we need an independent citizens commission to set pay and benefits for lawmakers, because too many politicians forget who they work for. And if citizens are setting their pay, they're quickly going to be reminded they work for us. Government should work for us, not the other way around.
Do you think the legislature in Pennsylvania should be cut?
Yeah, no, let me just add to that, though. I actually sued at Rock the Capital, the redistricting committee. And the way it's done now is you have the leadership in the House and the Senate. It's very partisan. So Andrew has an excellent point. We need to build on that idea, have a nonpartisan committee, establish those districts. I don't think you need to shrink the legislature. I think you need to shrink the compensation package. We need to return to part-time legislators. We're now with full-time legislators who do part-time work.
And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think there's a number of reforms I believe. I'm a term limits guy. I've pledged to, within 100 days, introduce a term limits amendment to the Pennsylvania Constitution. Because ultimately, what we're trying to get at, whether it's part-time legislature, whether it's reduced size of legislature, whether it's term limits, we're trying to get back to service is a public service. It shouldn't be self-serving. You shouldn't rely on the paycheck from your job. You shouldn't rely on the special perks. You should be going there to serve the public.
All right, quickly, a big issue has been the statute of limitations, and there's been a lot of debate at the Capitol. What's your view on whether that should be extended?
Look, I think it should be. I believe in justice. If you look at the Constitution of the United States, the very first role of the government after forming a more perfect union is to establish justice. And so seeking justice for these victims is key. And so I'm in support of these efforts.
Look, as a professor of Holocaust studies, the one lesson we learned is never again. Never again means not being a bystander, not being neutral. Right now, not only do we need the statute of limitations, but we need to proactively prevent this kind of abuse occurring again. And I think we're stalled. I think think that's one of the problems is we're going to have to work together to deal with this issue. The victims and basically the survivors need to heal, but moving forward, we need to give them the ability to grieve and to confront their accuser and to get justice. We haven't done it yet. In my mind, it's a crime that we haven't got statute of limitations done.
All right, well, much as we'd like to go on with a lot of different issues, we thank you both for being here, and we wish you the best on Election Day. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Susan.
And remember, Election Day is November 6th. The polls open at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they are open until 8 o'clock in the evening. Stay with WGAL News 8 on Election Day to watch your vote count.